this computer. Good morning, everybody. This is Maorong Jiang. I'm with the Asian Water Center at Creighton and also the Nebraska Waterfields Council. Today, we have a distinguished speaker from Tokyo, Japan, for our Reporting Live Abroad project. This is the second episode, and thank you all for coming. Please note that this episode is recorded to be edited and most likely will be posted on the Waterfield Council website. Tadashi Manomo-san was with the Asian Water Center at Creighton for 2 years, where he was coordinator for the Japan Foundation outreach program. And we thank Mr. George Binninger, who helped both Tadashi-san and Nomura and Mana Nakano-san to come to Creighton for the coordinator position. Now, Tad-san, we usually call him Tadashi-san, was a banker. And when he was at Creighton in Omaha, he helped tremendously for the 50th anniversary between Shizuoka and Omaha sister city relations. And most recently, he also helped the delegation to Japan for the 60th anniversary between Shizuoka and Omaha sister city relations. Tasson has been a banker, has been a scholar, and we have had him numerously time in Omaha for Creighton and for UNO and from other universities for his insightful knowledge about Japan-US relations and about China-Japan relations. So today we are very fortunate to have him to speak briefly and within a short period of time, 25 minutes, talking about the broken relationship between Japan and China and the reason why. And this is a very critical moment before the two elections, both in Japan, in the United States, and also the direction where the relation goes for the future. We have so much things to be concerned in our heart. So without further ado, I welcome Tad-san to give a great presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moran. I guess it's good morning, everyone. It's 10 p.m. here in Tokyo, so it's almost a bedtime for me. Well, anyway, I'm pleased to be invited to speak today, and I appreciate everyone for participating in this event. Now, as the time is a little short, the title of my speech today is "The Broken Relationship Between Japan and China and Why." Wow, very sensitive topic. But let me try to my best of my knowledge. According to the Chinese government, the relationship between China and Japan has been strained by Japan's refusal to acknowledge its wartime crimes to the satisfaction of China. Before responding to this issue, I would like to comment as to how the post-war Japan began, which I think is essential and basis to understanding Japan and the Japanese people thereafter. First, on August 15, 1945, Japan accepted unconditional surrender after the nuclear bomb dropped over Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Prior to the unconditional surrender, all the major cities throughout Japan were burned into ashes after numerous airstrikes by the US. Large cities like Tokyo, Osaka, and Nagano were severely burned and destroyed. The largest airstrikes was made on the night of March 10, 1945, over the city of Tokyo. More than 350 B-29 bombers flew over Tokyo and killed more than 100,000 civilians overnight. By the way, I was in city of Shizuoka, Japan this September. As you might know, Omaha and Shizuoka celebrated the 60th year of sister city relationship. The city of Shizuoka was also attacked by the US on the 9th of June 1945, and 65% of the entire city was destroyed by over 130 B-29. I understand that many of B-29 were built in Omaha, and I saw real B-29 exhibited at the Strategic Air Command and Aerospace Museum when I was in Omaha. If I remember right, the B-29 exhibit participated in airstrikes in Japan. And when I stood in front of the B-29, I put my hands together to pray for whoever lost. As such, post-war history of Japan began with entirely burned land, over 3 million people lost. Many people lost their families, houses, and they were starving. In fact, Japan was one of the poorest country in the world right after the war. On August 31st, 2 weeks after the surrender, US occupational army arrived in Japan, headed by Douglas MacArthur. He was the supreme commander for Allied forces based in the Philippines. Occupational army intended to rebuild and reform Japan rather than taking advantage of Japan. Occupational army ruled Japan until 1952, when Japan restored independence. These were the factual events in Japan at the beginning of post-war history. Simply, Japan was entirely destroyed with 0 industrial bases. People were starving and desperate. Another significant influence on the post-war of Japan was the Constitution of Japan. The new constitution was entirely drafted by the US in 1946 and implemented in the following year. In the Article 9 of the Constitution, Japan declared that Japan will renounce war forever and will not possess military capabilities for resolving international disputes. With this new constitution, Japan was demilitarized, which was one of the key objectives of the new constitution, and did not engage in war anywhere in the world to this date. Ever since, Japan demonstrated as a peace-loving nation to the world. Again, Article 9 prevented Japan from engaging in any military action for 80 years after the war. As such, Article 9 is well respected by a majority of Japanese people today. In addition, not a single word of the Constitution has ever been modified, although there are arguments to change. During 50s and 60s, Japan achieved a dramatic economic recovery, rebuilding the country. Japan sponsored Tokyo Olympic Games in 1964 and Osaka Exposition in 1970, both of which showcased and demonstrated to the world how Japan successfully rebuilt the country. In 1968, Japan became the second largest economy in the world, next to the US. It was only 20 years since Japan accepted unconditional surrender in 1945 and rebuilding Japan from the ashes. I believe Japanese people worked extremely hard and made enormous efforts to rebuild Japan. Personally, I watched and witnessed Olympic Games 64, Expo 70, and rebuilding of Japan myself, and it was truly amazing. In 1970s, as Japan regained its economic capabilities, Japan and China began discussing re-establishing diplomatic relationship and agreed in 1972. Soon after signing of the Sino-Japan Friendly Treaty in 1978, Japan began providing various assistance for the economic growth and the modernization of China. Japan provided a significant amount of financial aid together with exporting plant, steel mills, construction materials, technologies, and human resources for enhancing its economy and welfare of the people of China. China accepted those financial assistance from Japan and waived compensation or penalty for the war damages. Since then, favorable relationship lasted for a while. I understand Chinese people continue to have negative feelings towards Japan. Some of the reasons could be summarized in 4 points. One, sad incidents during the war, namely Nanjing Massacre, was a brutal behavior by Imperial Japan. The Nanjing Massacre, or the rape of Nanjing, which I do not like to say it, was a mass murder of Chinese citizens in Nanjing, the capital of the Republic of China, by the Imperial Japanese Army. The massacre began on December 13, 1937, and said to be lasted 6 weeks. Due to multiple factors, number of deaths estimates vary, but most scholars suppose the estimated number of at least 200,000 murders and at least 20,000 cases of rape. Second point is a Yasukuni Shrine visit by Japanese prominent personnel and politicians. Yasukuni Shrine is well known for enshrining or worshipping soldiers fought and died for Japan. The shrine is in central Tokyo and was founded by the Meiji Emperor in 1869. The shrine lists the names, origin, birth date, and place of death of 2.5 million men. Among those are about 1,000 convicted war criminals from the war, 12 of whom were charged with Class A crime in the International Military Court. I understand visiting Yasukuni Shrine by prominent personnel and politicians might be suggesting to the neighboring countries Japan is still with the Imperial Japan philosophy and might cause a military invasion. I certainly believe that Japan and Japanese people have no intention at all, and perhaps not equipped to do so. Third point is the Senkaku Islands issue. Chinese government claims Senkaku Islands are part of China. Senkaku Islands are in the southern part of Japan, close to Taiwan, and part of Okinawa Prefecture today. China suddenly began to claim over Senkaku Islands. China started their dispute of the island in the latter half of 1970, when the existence of oil reserves in the surrounding area revealed. Japan always believed Senkaku Island belonged to Japan. In September 2012, Japanese government purchased the island from a private Japanese owner, which led to widespreading of anti-Japan demonstration in China. Recently, Chinese military aircraft and ships frequently appeared in the surrounding area of Senkaku Island. Another point of the conflict might be the Taiwan issue. In early 2005, Japan and the United States had issued a joint statement which addressed the issue concerning the Taiwan Strait, which stated in the region, common strategic objectives include encourage the peaceful resolution of issues concerning the Taiwan Strait through dialogue. The PLC was angered by the statement and protested the interference in its internal affairs. China continues to emphasize on one China policy. On August 4, 2022, during U.S. Speaker Nancy Pelosi visits to Taiwan, China conducted precision missile strike in the ocean near Taiwan, of which 5 missiles landed in exclusive economic zone of Japan. Japanese Defense Minister Nobuo Kishi protested the missile as a serious threat to Japan's national security and the safety of the Japanese people. With Taiwan, even without official diplomatic relationship today, Japan maintained friendly relations with Taiwan and exchange large crowd of tourists every year. Chinese government repeatedly demanded apologies by Japanese government. Over time, successive prime minister of Japan made official apologies on wartime incident each time they visited China. In addition, Emperor and Empress of Japan visited China in October 1992 and expressed deep regrets about the sad incident occurred during the war. On April 12, 2007, Prime Minister of China, in his speech for friendship and cooperation, which was made in Japan, accepted Japan's repeated regrets and apologies on wartime incidents. Recently, there were numerous incidents caused by Chinese people harming Japanese citizens and properties. For example, one on September 18 this year in Shenzhen, 10-year-old Japanese boy was stabbed to death while going to school in the morning. The 44-year-old man was arrested immediately. However, Chinese government is reluctant to release any information as to who, why, and how it happened. Prior to this incident, in June of this year, school bus commuting to Japanese school was attacked by local Chinese, and the Japanese students were injured. No detailed information were released. Quite a few Japanese businessmen were arrested on account of espionage, which obviously raised serious questions among Japanese companies whether to further invest in China. These incidents are also causing serious concerns to the expats and their families whether to stay in China. Another incident, number of historical and cultural heritages, temples, shrines, and other public structures were damaged by Chinese tourists or others in recent years. There were numerous such incidents occurred recently, but we Japanese people have no idea why such brutal and unreasonable events happen to innocent Japanese citizens and properties. Some media is reporting that such action by Chinese people might be largely influenced and spread out by anti-Japan social media. Talking about public perceptions, both Japanese and Chinese people view each other very negatively. It looks like 70 to 80% of both people view unfavorably to each other, according to various surveys today. As a conclusion of my talk today, regardless of the negative perceptions on both sides, Japan and Japanese people would never intend to initiate any action to harm China or Chinese people. For Chinese people, Japan is the most favored and popular country to visit, attracting the large number of Chinese tourists every year. Indeed, China is one of the largest neighboring countries, and Japan wishes and would try every effort to reestablish a friendly relation going forward. This year, Nobel Prize will be awarded to Japan's peace organization called Japan Confederation of A&H Bomb Sufferers Organization for its work against nuclear weapons. Japan, together with China, wishing to contribute for the global peace and welfare of the people for many years to come. So thank you very much for your time and participation.
Thank you
That's all I
very
have
much.
to say.
That's thank you very much. So informative. Thank you. Okay, we have 5 minutes, actually 6 minutes. So this will allow us to have some questions. Please join the Q&A section as Tatsan allows us to do that.
Yeah, man. So this is my personal opinion. So
Okay.
please bear.
Sure. So Tatsam, I'm going to start the question. Do you think the Chinese thinks that they are economically stronger than before,
Mhm.
and now they have the good relationship with many countries, at least in the economic terms, because they have to do trade. Does that really encourage the Chinese to show some kind of revengeful feeling towards a country that they suffered tremendously in the past? Or it's simply because it's the geopolitical concerns that the Japan is an American ally and America has not been friendly to that country. So they want to, complicate the relationship by having a nasty attitude towards Japan to show to the United States that we Chinese, per se, are much stronger than in the past. So
Yeah.
leave us alone or don't mess up with us. What is the psyche of the Chinese in this perspective?
Well, on the surface of the phenomena, I would assume that both of those reasons behind it causing all these difficulties, I guess. You see, perhaps they continue to exaggerate the war instant today. And also, because Japan is together with the United States, that also may be making a harsh attitude towards Japan. So I think both things affecting us in creating a friendly relationship. So, but again, you see, it has become very difficult at this time. What will be the solution that we can offer from Japan? Because as I explained in my speech, there were various efforts made in the past. And today, Japan, without any military capabilities, we have no way of invading other nations at this time. And we never intend to do so. Japanese people will never will agree to do that. So that's not going to happen. And although we do have a very strong relationship with the United States and have what's called the collective defense agreements, but still, I think, to me, Article 9 continue to prevent us from engaging in the war. So, again, that's being disputed.
Thank you. Thank you. George always have good questions.
Well, Tad, a question about the coalition that Japan has with other East Asia and particularly Southeast Asia nations who are also have the same type of an issue with China and what I would describe as an expansionary desire by China to control what they call the China Sea. So how strong are the relations with the Philippines, Vietnam, Indonesia, and those countries in Taiwan that also border China? How strong is Japan's relationship with those countries?
In general, Japan has a very strong relationship, very friendly relationship, economically and politically. I strongly believe that. But on the other hand, as everybody see it, China is trying to alter that relationship in some ways by maybe providing financial assistance or
Mhm.
in some ways. But historically and even post-war times, Japan maintained great relationship with those countries, and I do believe so. And I think Japanese government is trying to enhance that relationship further. And I think that will be the case. So, but again, at the time, China is also trying to do the same. So, but we believe that we do have a very good, strong relationship with those countries. Yes.
Mhm.
Okay, well, thank you very much, Ted-san, and thank
Okay.
to everybody. The 8:25 is here, so I have to
Yes. Yeah. Thank
finish
you
the
very much.
project. And next episode is going to be on Poland, a philosopher talking about the philosophy shaping the post-communist society of Poland. So stay tuned. And once again, thank you so much, Ted-san. It's a wonderful talk, and I
Thank
so
you very much.
appreciate it. So
Thank
thank
you
you.
very
Have a
much.
good day, everybody.
All right.
Yeah. Have a good day, everyone. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.
Good
Bye-bye.
night.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Betty-san.